Hey guys, Project Zodiac here. I'm back with another video. I'm very sorry for how rushed this video is, and just the rush production in it in general. I just really wanted to get this video out. I have a bunch of other things to do. So I am really excited for Jurassic World Dominion coming out in a few days actually. I'm recording this June 4th. And I'm sure you guys already saw my unboxing of the 5 movie 4K collection. So I recently rewatched all of the Jurassic Park movies, and Jurassic World as well. So I thought, okay, why don't I just write little notes what I think about it, because it's a big series, and I did. And when I read them, I'm like, you know what? Actually, why don't I just do a little review for this, and then just do a quick follow up review on Jurassic World Dominion, um, when that comes out when I watch it. So I basically did that. So this is just gonna be a very short video. It's very rushed. I'm sorry. Again, I have a lot of things to do, so I just wanted to get this out. But yeah, here's just my thoughts on all the Jurassic Park movies and Jurassic World. So I just kind of want to record this intro with me, just as an intro. So again, sorry for the production because it's just gonna be mostly still images. But again, I still wanted to get this out. So I hope you guys enjoy my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, with all that said, I'm gonna say it at the end anyway, but I'm gonna say it again. Just rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think of my thoughts, and share yours as well. Thank you. I'll see you guys soon. So for the first Jurassic Park movie, honestly, it's a classic. It basically blends fantastic horror with tension and comedy, and honestly, it holds up so well today. I really did like the practical effects, and I also love the music, and I really love how this movie does make you feel like you're basically doing a park showcase. That was just really fun. I also really like how it's really well paced. Um, but I guess I would say the only thing I didn't like is just the bad guy. I forgot his name, but the guy that basically is trying to get money by giving the embryos to a different company. He was just really annoying, and I also didn't really like that we didn't really see many people die on screen. I mean, we did see a few, but not too many. We mostly just heard about it. Also, the two kids in the movie were just meh, like they were just okay. I also do think it's kind of sad that the park didn't get a chance to open. I do kind of wish it did open, honestly. But thankfully later on we do get a movie like that where the park is open, which would be Jurassic World. But in this movie, there were moments where it could have had a little bit more horror stuff in it, honestly. And maybe be a little bit more serious because they had, like I said, they had good humor and good comedy, but there are parts where it was a little bit too comedy driven where it should have been serious. But overall, though, this is a classic and it's just a fantastic movie. It's also the one I've seen the most in this series, and honestly, it's just amazing. So I give it a 8.5 out of 10. Now, the second one, Jurassic Park, or sorry, The Lost World Jurassic Park, it's the one I've seen the least, basically. The characters in this one honestly kind of sucked. It just felt very long and a bit bland. I also didn't really like the hunters in this movie, but I mean, at the same time, it does make sense that there would be a group trying to hunt the dinosaurs. Now that these dinosaurs, basically, like the knowledge that they're alive, it's available to the public. So again, it makes sense. I just didn't really like the hunters. I do think though one thing that this movie did do really good was it brought up the horror elements like so much more than the first movie, and I loved that with this one. Also, this one was a lot more violent and it shows a lot more deaths on the screen, which some people might not like, but honestly, I thought it was fantastic. And also, speaking of fantastic, I love the way that the T Rex was just in the town walking around. That was pretty cool. So, this movie did kind of address some of my complaints that the first one did, and it did have some great things about it. But as I said earlier, this movie was just kind of okay or meh overall. It's just missing something. And I feel like that's mostly with the hunters and the characters. So, meh. mostly just because of that, I'll have to give it mostly like a 6.5 out of 10. But again, it did address a lot of my complaints with the first movie. Now, the third movie, I know that this one might be a little bit controversial, but it's so much better than the second one. It's better paced, the characters are better, and it's also got a shorter runtime as well. It also goes straight to the point, and it also kind of has a better comedy, way better comedy than the second one for sure. And honestly, I think in some elements a little bit better than the first one. I don't know. I just really like the comedy in this one a lot. Um, I also really like that they kept the violence and horror elements from the second movie. Even though it was toned down a little bit, it's still definitely a little bit more horror driven and a little bit more violent than the first movie, in my opinion. Um, there was also just some really creative moments that I remember from when I was really little. Um, and because I haven't seen most of the movies other than the first one in so long, I wasn't sure if these creative moments was from the second movie or the third movie. But it was, rewatching it now, it was mostly from the second movie. Overall, though, this one was just really good, and I really liked the personal driven story in this one, like the family driven story. Um, it overall just felt more like a true to the formula type movie, like a true to formula Jurassic Park movie, with some improvements from the third one. Sorry, from the second one. So I don't know. I like this one. It's a little bit similar to the first one, more than the second. So I'm definitely giving this one an 8 out of 10. Now the fourth one. This one, seeing it again for the first time in a long time, was interesting. This one was kind of a mix of the first and the third movie, to be honest. So I really liked the characters, and I really liked the personal family story, and I'm really really happy we finally get to see the park the way it would have been, basically open to the public. And they did a fantastic job of showing us all the rides, the exhibitions. So I just thought that that was so well done. I also love that they added more science basically to the entire plot, like creating your own original dinosaur. I love that. Um, but again, it was really interesting seeing that because I remember all these things that I loved, but then we had some complaints that I'm like, oh right, this is why, even though as much as I liked it, I forgot about these complaints. Which my biggest complaint is that they basically removed the horror elements. And there was some, but it was so few, and really they just kind of wanted to focus on the action than the actual survivor horror element of the other ones. I mean, again, there's a little bit of it, but not as much. It also felt a little bit longer than it needed to be, but it was overall like it did a great job with what it was trying to do. It's just those complaints again made me feel like a little bit mixed because I was like, oh right, I did forget about this issue that I had with it. So, but again, I mean, if I'm only remembering those good things, then again, it shows that I really did enjoy this one. So I definitely do give this one an 8 out of 10 because again, they did a lot right, and I'm just so happy to see the park open. But now we get to the Peninsula one, which is Jurassic World, The Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, this one is definitely my least favorite. It's just slow. It's mostly about purchasing things and the illegal exotic animal sales that, the real world has, but that's basically what it's about. And it's also mostly about hunting the dinosaurs as well. So it's basically the exact same thing as Jurassic Park 2, and it even has dinosaurs running in a place where humans live like the second movie did. And also this one just had very little horror elements until like the last like 10 minutes or so, or like last 15 minutes. So it misses a huge charm of the series. Again, though, I mean, they do some pretty cool things with this one. It's just really interesting to see the way that the humans are trying to sell dinosaurs. Again, like the second movie, it makes sense that people would try to do that, but I kind of wish they didn't make most of the focus of this movie be about that. Um, Also, then sorry, Isla Nublar being destroyed, that was so sad and so well done. Um, like showing the dinosaurs trying to survive and everything. I thought that that was really, really well done. Also, I know that this part might be a little bit controversial, but I really do like that the little girl was a clone. It kind of expands on the science that was established earlier in the series. So yeah, that I really, really did enjoy. I can understand some criticism with that, with like it makes no sense. Why are they now talking about cloning humans instead of dinosaurs? But again, it makes sense with the context of well, one, the story that was in this movie, and two, with what was already established um, in this film series about like the cloning elements in general. So it's really interesting to see them use that for something else and a more controversial topic, whereas you're cloning a human. So I really did like that, and I kind of do wish they touch on it on Jurassic World Dominion. So I really doubt they're gonna touch on this in Jurassic World Dominion, which is so it's basically just gonna be a plot that's just gonna be tossed out, and if that's what happens, I'm gonna be really upset because I do want them to address this. Um, but I do like that idea. So I did like that. It was a little bit different and kind of shows, that it is something that is possible and it expands on the science and the lore. Also, one thing that I do absolutely love with this one is that the last few minutes, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, again, I'm just saying it again, those last few minutes are fantastic. Um, but yeah, it just kind of feels like a bad rehash of the second movie with some cool things thrown in, but then missing some of the elements that makes the movies, the Jurassic Park movies, the Jurassic Park movies, which is like that horror element with the dinosaurs until like the last 10 minutes, basically. But and just the way this movie ends too, like dinosaurs out in the public and stuff like that, that's really cool. Um, so again, it does do good things, but it's just missing so much and it just feels like a rehash of the second one. In a way, it kind of really feels like Jurassic World is kind of a rehash of the first one, but done to the extent where it feels like a natural progression, whereas Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom just feels like a straight out just different version rehash of the second movie basically, um, with some new things in. But yeah, hopefully Jurassic World Dominion is not bad. Hopefully it'll be much better. Again, Fallen Kingdom isn't that bad. It's just not the best out of all of them. Honestly, I give Fallen Kingdom a 6 out of 10. Uh, Overall, though, I did enjoy watching all of these again back to back. After such a long time without seeing all of them. The ones I definitely seen the most is Jurassic Park 1 and then Jurassic World 1. But the other ones, they're fantastic. They're great. I have those complaints, but these are just really enjoyable movies and they're just fun to watch. But I am super excited now for the last one, Jurassic World Dominion. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how they're gonna handle everything. Um, but yeah, overall, I did enjoy seeing these again. So uh, let me know what your thoughts are on these movies and which ones you like the most and which ones you don't, and the reasons why. So with all that said, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.